Hello everyone. So in this section of course we will be discussing about spies, and in this lecture we are going to see what is a spy in Mockito. So in our previous lecture when we discussed about test doubles, we discussed that a spy is a special type of test double which basically record information about how they were interacted. But when it comes to Mockito, the working of spy behaves differently. So the primary stuff, which is the recording of the information about how they were interacted, is being performed by the spy. But what happens is they also allow us to call the normal methods of the external dependency while still tracking every interaction. So here if you see, when we discussed about the spy test double, the actual dependency was not in picture. But when we are dealing with the Mockito, the spy also allow us to call the normal methods of the external dependency. So basically when we are dealing with the real world development using Mockito, spies are very less used test doubles because the actual external dependency is still involved. So they are also termed as partial mock because whatever the method we want to mock, we can mock using spy, and whatever method we want to actually call on the external dependency, we can do that also. So therefore they are considered as partial mock. So here whatever we discussed is basically in context of Mockito framework. Moving ahead. So for an example, let's say I want to test book service class, which is dependent on book repository, which communicates to the database. And we have created a spy of book repository. So when we call any method on the book service from the test, the call goes to the book repository spy. So what this spy does is, it keeps the track of the method which is getting called on the book repository spy, and then it internally calls the methods on the book repository, which basically goes to the database and brings the actual response. And as soon as we get the actual response, finally we send a spied response back to our test. So friends, here book repository spy can be worked in two ways. Either we can go and call the external dependency to fetch something from the database, or what we can do is, instead of going to the external dependency, we can also mock that method and basically send a spied response. So with spy, either we can mock the method which we are calling on the book repository, or we can also call the actual method which goes to the database and bring back the response. So friends, in our upcoming lecture we'll see that how we can create a spy and how we can use to perform behavior verification and also stubbing of methods. And we'll see that how it is actually different from the mock objects. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.